Oregon. He had to go low to pick it up. Nice grab, hands underneath, rolled. Wait for the official to indicate. Touchdown, Terrence Ferguson.
This is the Pacific Office Automation Postgame Scoreboard Show on the Odyssey app and your home for Ducks football. 1080 The Fan. Pacific Office Automation. Problem solved.
Welcome back to the Pacific Office Automation Postgame Scoreboard Show. You heard it there, Terrence Ferguson. And during the game, I started thinking to myself, does Dylan Gabriel just need a new Tez? Because it feels like he's going to Ferg a lot.
Right.
Ferg with 6 catches tonight, and I know he had at least 3 or 4 more targets that did not get hauled in. So I do want to pick up on that conversation we started having before we talked to Dusty, with Dusty, and specifically this offense without Tez. Obviously, them not having the ball today for long stretches, I think adds to you being a little bit more disjointed, but how would you look at them wanting to remedy, or I guess better said, how would you expect them to try to remedy this in the week leading up to Wisconsin? What are the things that's ailing them, and what are the things that they can actually do about it?
I just didn't feel like over the middle of the field they made anyone miss. Like, no offense to Terrence Ferguson, that's not really what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to catch the football in a spot where he has a guy on him, but he's taller than them, right?
And honestly, he's better in the spots where he kind of leaks out. He's the second option.
Yeah.
You have receivers taking people away.
He's the bottom route of the flood.
Yeah.
He's the easy completion. And that's not an attack on him. That's just the position
He's a great
plays.
tight end, but he shouldn't be the focal point of your passing game.
Right. He's not a tight end that's going to run away from people. He's a tight end that's going to come up big on 3rd and shorts and stuff like that. The thing is what Tez did such a good job of doing was when he was in the slot and he caught those bubble screens or he caught that 5-yard crossing route, he made one guy miss. And then that turns that into a 5-yard gain, into a 10, into a 12, into a 15. He also then, after he makes that catch, now they have to commit another safety to him. They have to have someone underneath and someone over the top of him. Well, when you do that, now Evan Stewart is all by himself, one-on-one, going vertical deep, right? And so that opens things up for everyone else. And it felt like against Michigan, you kind of had Trayshawn Holden fill that role.
Yes.
And not that Lowe did a bad job, but he also did an okay job of, at least with the bubble screens. He didn't go across the middle quite as much, but you kind of had those two piecemeal together what Tez does.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this game, whether it was because Trayshawn got hit super hard early on and that cost him a step, or maybe now teams have gotten some film on Lowe and so they understand how to guard him a little bit better now that he's played more than just, a few games in a row. It felt like you just didn't have that slot wide receiver that could make a man miss in this game, or even at times get open. And I don't know if that's more of what Maryland was doing to you or what you were doing to Maryland. Like, what sticks out to me is that Anthony said he saw times where wide receivers stopped running their routes when, Gabriel's out there running free and trying to make someone miss so that he can find a big play. You can't stop running your route there. That's where the big plays happen.
On the broadcast where I believe it was Holden picked up a pass interference penalty, he stopped running on that ball and could have caught it.
Right.
But just didn't. And so,
that can't happen.
You're not going to get your best effort every single week of the season,
No.
but you're going to need a better effort than that, at least from the pass catchers against Wisconsin. I want to ask you too, Will, we've been alluding to this for a while, the O-line shuffle. No Marcus Harper, so today insert Dave Iuli. Part of the I wonder if part of the reason for the maybe less explosiveness in the passing game is because people were in Dylan Gabriel's face a little bit more today, and I don't know if you were able to kind of hone in and circle Iuli at all, or what you saw from the O-line as a whole. But how did that unit fare without Marcus Harper?
Well, to be honest, you didn't give up any sacks. Yeah. And as I'm looking at it, you gave up 4 tackles for a loss. Well, 1.5 of them, so basically 2 of them are from Fuller, and then as you're going through it, DJ Samuels, he had 2 as well. So you look at it, and it's 2 big plays from 2 different guys. Is that those 2 just winning one-on-one matchups in those spots? Is that your offensive line having a little bit of a breakdown? I don't really know. I'm not going to go that far to say that. What I will say is whenever you switch someone up on the offensive line, you take a step back. And Dylan Gabriel has shown that when he doesn't feel 100% comfortable, some of those explosive chances that you saw him take in weeks previous, he won't take them anymore because he doesn't want to get hit. He took a hit in this game, and I can't remember if it was late in the first or early in the second quarter, but if you're an Oregon fan, you're very lucky that Dylan Gabriel is still playing football.
Oh, the guy kind of almost dove at his feet or got blocked into his feet.
The guy hit his foot right before Dylan Gabriel's foot hit the turf.
Yeah.
If his foot hits the turf there and it catches, that foot is like his ankle is broken, minimum. It was almost a very, very dangerous hit.
Yeah, that's the kind of play you hold your breath on.
And I think when you get hit like that, especially as a quarterback like Dylan Gabriel, who has been known to be jumpy, you instantly just start getting the ball out of your hand. And so I think at times, maybe if he would have been a little bit more patient, he waits an extra second because the O-line, I did feel like for the most part, gave him time. Maybe he could have found, Evan Stewart deep on a route, or maybe he could have found Justice Lowe across the middle and it just needed more time to clear. But I feel like what defenses have been able to do is when they get after Gabriel, he gets the ball out of his hand quicker, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can take away from your explosives because he's just looking for his first option that gets open. And it's going to look even worse explosiveness-wise because right now you don't have Tez Johnson, who you had early in the year, and he was the one who was making all the big plays.
More explosives needed on offense, but today they got some explosives from the special teams and the defense.